One last note on SmackDown. He was on SmackDown last week beating Austin Theory. He's got a rematch from Payback with The Miz coming up on SmackDown this Friday night. Mr. LA Knight himself, in the news lately in the last week, it was reported about a week ago, again, right after we recorded, I believe, that he was on the verge of signing a brand new deal with WWE. And like a new long-term deal locked in place for the next 5 years, and that WWE was waiting for that to go into effect for him to be locked in before they started pushing him aggressively, knowing that he'd be around long term. That makes sense. That came from, I believe, Mike Johnson at PW Insider. Fightful comes out a couple days later saying, not so fast. He's not actually, not only has he not signed the deal yet, they're actually far apart on money, and his contract does not expire until early 2025. And they might just be negotiating early now because he's so hot right now. Maybe he wants a bigger deal, whatever the case might be. I don't think LA Knight's going anywhere. I would be shocked if they couldn't come to terms on a new deal and then he left. I could see that with Drew. Oddly enough, Drew's a big enough star to where he should probably get a bigger deal than whatever LA Knight would be asking for right now, because he's proven to be a main event player for the company in the last couple of years, carried them through COVID, blah, blah, blah. And then if he doesn't get that, I could see him going to AEW or whatever. I can't see LA Knight going back to Impact or going back to NWA or let alone AEW. I just don't feel like that would work out well at all. I do think he will stay in WWE, but your thoughts on the LA Knight situation and that they could be locking him into a new lucrative deal heading into 2025?
No, I think if his deal's not up until 2025, I guess we do have some time, but depending on what he originally signed for, he's literally one of the most over guys in the company right now, so I'd understand for his sake that he definitely would want some more security and probably more money. The only problem with him specifically is just his age. He is a little bit older. So it's just like, even if they just didn't resign him, how much longer does he really have in the tank? So I think he deserves it, and they definitely need to figure that out. But yeah, we'll see. But I think just over-wise, it would be a smart move to keep him around.
Just talking about sports in general, you talk about the fact that he's, in his 40s, now he's on the older side, and I feel like this can kind of relate to sports in the sense that whatever contract he signs next, if it is a long-term deal, will probably be his last. It'll take him through 45, 46, at the age of 45, 46. Whatever contract he signs next would probably be his last. Do you think it's a case where he might be asking for more money, thinking of that, thinking listen, I'm not going to sign for peanuts here or anything less than what a top talent would be paying, would be paid. I've proven in the last couple months this momentum is sustainable. This is not a fad. My t-shirts are selling. I got you guys ratings, social media numbers, great crowd reactions, blah, blah, blah. Let's get this thing going and push me as a top talent, because otherwise, again, he wants that security. Again, they could release him at any time. That's how WWE works. But I could see why he would probably want a bigger deal, knowing that whatever deal he signs next might be his last in wrestling.
No, definitely. Like you said, he's at the end of his career, especially age-wise. You definitely would want that security, knowing that this could be, like you said, his last contract.
With how over he is right now, I know you're an LA Knight fan as well. Do you see his ceiling being a world champion? Again, he's super over, but some guys only get so over, and it's like, all right, but their ceiling is like the mid-card, like the United States Championship. Can you see him as the world champion at some point? Because I certainly could.
Yeah, I definitely, with if SmackDown specifically, I'd say, he's not beating Roman Reigns, so I'd say no on that aspect. But, I think he could definitely be like a world heavyweight champion. I think I would like to see him get some mid-card gold just to kind of solidify himself a little bit, but I think him winning the world heavyweight championship down the line, I wouldn't be surprised.
PW Insider reported in that same report that they were eyeing Knight as the top babyface on the Blue brand going forward. Again, kind of thrown in disarray with the Fightful report that he hasn't officially signed yet. But honestly, he feels that way. If you look at the roster on SmackDown, they have a lot of great talent. He is the de facto number one babyface. It's not John Cena, because I guess, but he's not around long term. Edge is possibly done, and he's not full-time anyway. Bobby's apparently supposed to be a heel. Doesn't act like it, but is apparently supposed to be a heel. Sheamus is great, but he's not that guy. And AJ Styles is probably not going to be that guy. He could be a top player, and he won the main event of SmackDown last week, but he's not going to be who they build the brand around for the next 6 to 12 months. LA Knight can be that guy. He's already proven to be one of the best parts of SmackDown in recent weeks alone. How can you have him as the top babyface? I guess the easy answer is that Roman does not wrestle regularly. But how do you think they can have him as the top babyface, Roman is the top heel in the entire company, let alone on SmackDown, and not have them cross paths at some point? And do you think WWE planted the seed for that possibility by having him interact with Paul Heyman last week on SmackDown?
Yeah, I think so. Like, so they did have that little interaction. I mean, like, so that's like the little seed plant there. I just, like you said, with Roman's schedule, it's just like how often is he going to work and when they're going to fit that in. So, I mean, that's the problem. I feel like that is the problem with SmackDown. They just are very heel heavy. There's not a ton of, like, besides LA Knight, it's like who? Rey Mysterio? I love Rey Mysterio. He's the United States champion, but I mean, he's just not who he used to be. Like, if he's like your second top babyface, I feel like you're in trouble. So I just feel like it's a very heel heavy show. I mean, that's why I feel like Jay didn't have to go to Raw, because he could be one of the top babyfaces on SmackDown. Like, you put him on Raw now, it's like there's so many good babyfaces. They're the complete opposite. They have no, like,
good
really
heels, yeah.
A ton of top heels, so it's like a total different dynamic. They have Cody, Seth, Sammy, Kevin. Like, they have a ton of babyfaces.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't actually really have a ton of heels. So it's kind of funny that the both shows are kind of flip-flopped on being babyface heavy or heel heavy. So, I mean, we'll see. But I think it's possible, like I said, that they could cross paths somewhere down the line. But I think that interaction wasn't just, like, out of the blue.
Do you think there's a chance that, again, I mean, I guess there is a chance they could change plans and put him in the Mania match. I honestly don't think that's completely out of the realm of possibility. Do I expect that? No. I think they'll stick with Cody. I think they should stick with Cody. I love LA Knight, but Cody's... You don't have him lose at Mania and then completely give up on him a year later. I mean, they have to see it through. They have to put the belt on Cody. And he's already over anyway. It's not like they gave up on Cody or the fans have given up on Cody. He's still very much over and has maintained that momentum. But could you see a scenario where, again, Roman's not around a lot. He might not be around for the rest of the year, which is kind of crazy. Could you see a scenario, though, where maybe not at the Rumble per se, but maybe at like Elimination Chamber or whatever the February pay-per-view is, they could do a situation similar to Sammy and Roman last year, where, I don't know if they'll book it for like the former Staples Center, the crypto, whatever the fuck they call it now in LA. Book a pay-per-view around there, regardless of the location, I guess. Give LA Knight the title shot on that show, not winning, but I just feel like if you do Roman and LA Knight after Mania, Roman should not be champion after Mania. Could he be champion after Mania? Yes, he fucking could be. He absolutely could be. So let's not think that he's definitely going to lose it at Mania. Yeah, it's not set in stone. Because I feel like that match only makes sense if Roman is champion. Listen, he's not winning against Roman at a February pay-per-view, but I would like to see it, especially if he ends up in a prominent match at Mania the following month that's not for a world championship. I still think they could do it at like a February pay-per-view, if not at the Rumble.
No, I think they could. I mean, it's definitely possible. Like I said, I hope to God Roman's not champion after WrestleMania, but, anything's possible with Roman, so... I think it is. I feel like you said it, but it'd kind of be too, like, similar to, like, what you said with, like, Rey and Dominic. It'd be like, what's he just go to the well every time? Someone that's really over, not going to win the belt, you're going to beat him right before WrestleMania. So, I like the idea itself, but, like I said, is this going to be, like, a Triple H trope? Like, right for WrestleMania, the most over guy that's not going to win the belt, we'll just give him a title match just to show people that we're pushing him, something like that. For Sammy, I feel like there was Sammy was incorporated in the story, so it made a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Like, LA Knight would just be, like, another challenger. Like,
sure.
Sammy was in the bloodline. It made sense. He turned on Roman the month before. There you go. There's the match. Just happened to be in Montreal. But, I mean, I think it would be nice because, like I said, at least it's showing him, like, the pusher. He's at a top level. But I just also, I think Roman needs to lose to Cody at WrestleMania, so...